Talk more about this issue and the conflicting timelines between what's happening at the Disputes Tribunal and those that have been set by IEBC. I'm joined by the chair of the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal, Chalo Mbobu. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us on Monday Night News. Let's start off by asking why the dispute resolution is taking such a long time at your tribunal.
Well, thank you. It's not taking an unduly long time. I think we've done a fairly decent job so far, and we've concluded not less than 150 disputes. We have about 100 more remaining. And the problem really, I think, was precipitated by the manner in which the political parties themselves conducted their own internal dispute resolution processes, because there was a delay in conclusion of those matters, and that delay had a knock-on effect on what we are doing.
Okay, so talk to us then about we know obviously you have to hear all the cases and all the evidence that is before the tribunal, but then there's the IEBC deadline that is looming and has lapsed. So what happens, for example, in the case of Wavinya Ndeti, hoping that her name will be put forward to the IEBC after going through a nomination exercise not once, but twice?
As a matter of fact, I need to clarify the Wavinya Ndeti situation. The order we've given today, and the less I say about this, the better, is that as a matter of fact, we have struck out the case against Wavinya Ndeti. The case that remains, that comes back before the tribunal on Thursday, is the case against the party, Wiper Democratic Party. So that's the correct position here. Now, another thing that a lot of people are not aware of is the fact that, as a matter of fact, the IEBC has issued a clarification to the effect that political parties should not submit names in respect of those constituencies or seats where there are disputes pending before the tribunal.
All right, but then what happens to that timeline? Is that going to affect it? For example, let's take the case of Gem constituency where the tribunal nullified the results. What assurances can you give to the voters in a constituency like that where they're wondering, so will they now go through a second voting exercise even though, you know, time is not on our side with the electoral calendar?
Well, you know, we are making various types of orders. We are, in many instances, sending matters back to the NEBs, you know, the national election boards of each of these parties. The thing is, we are dealing with, you know, various types of disputes, and each case, as you know, presents a different set or mix of facts and challenges. And it is those facts that lead you to a particular direction or decision. We expect, obviously, that the political parties will try and comply with the orders as quickly as possible so that we do not interfere with the IEBC timelines, you know, in a very deliberate manner.
Chalo, my final question to you would be to talk to us about the trends, if you can, in the disputes that have come before the tribunal. What are some of the allegations or the trends that you are seeing in the evidence that is being presented before the tribunal? Can you speak to us about what are some of the common trends, some of the common complaints or irregularities that are being brought as complaints before the tribunal?
I think most of them are out there in the public domain. You know, lack of ballot papers, in certain instances, presiding officers not being there, in other instances, particularly because, as you understand now, the long rains are here. there are some situations, particularly in northeastern Kenya, where we heard that there simply was nothing on the ground in respect of certain parties. And so there are all manner of challenges, and I do hope that the concerned players have learned something out of some of the problems that we had in the party primary process.
Okay, I know you've talked about late delivery of ballot papers. What about other allegations we've been hearing in the public domain, like ballot stuffing, bribery of voters? We've just heard Jamle Kamau, the Kigumo MP, alleging that some people were being given fertilizer as they were walking in to the polling stations to vote during the primaries. Are you seeing any others like those? Perhaps you can just give an overview of the lessons that can be learned from what you're seeing.
We've heard about ballot stuffing, definitely. In fact, in certain instances, we've also heard about the stuffing being so bad that at some point in time, the party honchos had to ban some ballots in order to disguise that. I think the learning curve here for me is that as Kenyans, we need to certainly grow up and accept that you don't have to die to win public office. I don't know, maybe we need to amend the constitution and make some of these offices less glamorous and you know, so that people stop sort of fighting tooth and nail to get into these offices. But otherwise, you know, I guess one of the things that we must accept is that we are in a growing democracy, and there is a lot to be done, but I think we've come a long way in terms of trying to solve some of these disputes that would otherwise hamper what would in the end be a free and fair election.
Thank you very much for speaking with us tonight on Monday Night News. We appreciate